You guys may have seen flying around, or maybe in your social media. I know I myself saw some people talking about it in the live chat, an hour or two before the show even started today. You may have been hearing the talk that Bob Iger has come back to Disney, and Bob Iger has retaken over the CEO role at Disney. That's what some people are talking about this morning and all this kind of stuff. I want us to talk about that and look at that a little bit more specifically. First of all, there is a story going around, but it's just an interest story. See, here's the thing. Bob Iger has been stepping up, because you remember last week he spoke on behalf of Disney saying that, we put out, we're going to be putting Artemis Fowl straight to VOD. We might do the same with some smaller films moving on. We're not sure. It's like, wait, why is Bob Iger making these announcements? He stepped out. Is he coming back? And a couple of, bigger outlets like the Hollywood Reporter running stories that Bob Iger he's actively helping Disney amid the virus crisis. And here's why I thought it was important to do this as an off the top here this morning. There are a number of people, again, who have taken this and have interpreted it as Bob Iger has, number one, come back to Disney, when in reality he hasn't gone anywhere. But number two is that he's now taking over Disney again. Well, actually, that's not true either. See, here's the thing. What we have tried to explain to people before is this. Bob Iger has not left Disney. He never did leave Disney. See, Bob Iger has held two of the biggest positions in Disney. He's held the CEO position, which is the one we all talk of him about. But on top of that, he has also been the chairman of the board, which is, in fact, the most powerful position to hold at Disney. The CEO is the person who runs the day-to-day operations of the company. But the CEO, his bosses are the board. And the head guy on the board is still Bob Iger. He didn't go anywhere. He's going to retire at some point, but he didn't go anywhere. He still had that position. Also, he has not resumed. It's important to notice, you go through the actual stories, Bob Iger has not resumed the duties of the CEO. He's just stepping in because, listen, Rob, in a time like this, when there's a lot of panic going on amongst investors and things like that, you don't want the new guy talking. You want the guy who has been there with you, who is your calm, soothing North Star. Bob Iger's here. Everything feels better. If you're a shareholder, that's what you want. And that's all Bob Iger has done here. He's just simply saying, hey, I'll step up and be more the face of the company right now as the company is going through a bit of a crisis. I'm still here. I'm still chairman of the board. I can't just dump all this on Bob Chapek right now. I've got to step in and help, and I'll still kind of be the face of the company to guide us through these waters. But Bob Chapek is still CEO. He's still doing the job of the CEO. So no, any reports you hear about Bob Iger coming back, not true because he never went anywhere. And any reports you hear about him taking back over the CEO job, no, that's not true either. He's simply being a little bit more vocal, a little bit more of the face. Rob, you see this. Would you interpret this as an opportunity right out of the gate for Bob Chapek just to be thrown right into the water and really carry things right now? Or is it the appropriate thing for the guy who's been the head and main face of the company for the last 15 years to kind of step up a little bit and still be the face through this crisis that Disney is facing? How do you interpret the way they're handling this right now?
Well, I mean, this is a Titanic level event. The iceberg has slammed into Disney, and it is this global pandemic. I mean, from their parks to their cruise ships to their TV and motion picture business, they literally are dead in the water, and they're sinking rapidly. And you don't want the new guy, as good as the new guy can be. Chapek is also a lifer at Disney pretty much. And, I think Bob Iger is doing what anybody would do. You come back in and you help. If there's one thing we as Americans do, we as human beings do, when you've built something and you have an opportunity to come back in and fix it, and not just fix the problem, but help the thousands upon thousands of employees that you have at your company, something that you've been building for decades, you don't just go, let it burn, I'll walk away. I mean, Disney's a publicly held company that the amount of businesses that support Disney and the amount on a global scale are massive. And I think that, what Bob is doing is he's coming in at, I read this article over the weekend that was in the New York Times about this situation, and they call Bob C, and then they call Bob Iger just Bob. So there's Bob and there's Bob C. And, now it's all hands on deck. People do what they can. I mean, there's no amount of money you can throw at Bob Iger to fix this problem. What you need is his knowledge and understanding of the company to come in at a time of crisis, shore things up, and get them through, because Disney's almost their entire business is servicing the public in some way, shape, or form. And when that business is ground to a halt by no fault of your own, you do what you can to save not just the company, but all of the people that work for the company. There's everybody who works at Disney has experience, and even the people that clean the parks, the janitorial service at Disneyland, which is not only the happiest place on earth, but one of the cleanest places on the earth. You don't want to lose those people, and I think that Bob Iger knows that, and he's doing his work exactly what he should be doing and what a responsible business leader does. So, and we're getting a lot of tweets and things, John. Oh, Bob Iger's taking over at Disney. No, Bob Iger's never left, and he's coming in when the company is burning, it's sinking, and he's there to do what he can to make sure that ship does not sink to the bottom of the ocean but continues on. And I think more power to him. Good on him for doing so.
Yeah, I agree. And so listen, guys, if you see your fellow film fans online saying, oh, did you hear that Bob Iger's back? Remind them, he didn't go anywhere. He's still the chairman of the board, and Bob Chapek is still CEO. He is just lending his face and his help in this time of crisis. Now, just let your fellow film fans know, because it can become a little bit confusing in the internet era, of course, of what's going on. So do that, guys, and jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Okay, guys.